Everyone clearly remembers that this pair will be the main characters of the new episode, and the trailer showed us that a lot of interesting things might happen in their storyline. Let's figure out what could actually happen to them, how it could affect the others, and what exactly these two are hiding. Yeah, we might finally get that reveal, but let's save that for a little later. The first solid scene in the trailer featuring Ragatha shows her hand against a slightly strange-looking wall. There's a theory that it might be the same kind of place Pomni ended up in during the pilot, and that Ragatha will end up there too, kicking off the chaos that'll basically follow through all of episode 5. Personally, I'm not really buying that right now, since a wall like that could easily exist in literally any room. Also, a lot of people remember that earlier scene where Ragatha takes a drink, and then everyone suddenly looks at her in surprise. I'm more than sure those two scenes are connected, and there's a good chance we'll get some sort of confession, or maybe even an apology for what happened back in episode 4, along with a story of some kind. But I can't say for sure that it'll be something positive, especially considering another scene where Raggy says something to Jax and he looks more shocked than we've ever seen him in the digital circus. You can also see Pomni standing nearby, so maybe Jax's reaction wasn't about what Ragatha told him, but about what she said in front of Pomni, something she definitely shouldn't have said. And of course, we already found out that Ragatha's great at softball back in episode 4. We also know from the teasers that Jax is going to play a pretty big role in all the adventures, and this is where things get really interesting. If you look at the bar scene, which honestly doesn't even feel like a real adventure but more like a casual convo between Zubul and Kane, it seems like in that whole non-adventure, the characters are just telling stories from their lives. Now what's weird is that Jax actually seems totally normal in almost every scene from that bar setup, but if you check out Poacher's Paradise or the White House looking adventure, and yeah, for some reason, I'm convinced that Office teaser is actually referencing the White House. Jax is a totally different guy. And in that one scene from an unknown location, Jax straight up looks lost and maybe even scared, kinda like how he was back in the pilot or in episode 4. Either way, I really doubt this dude's gonna get any nicer. Something tells me the further we go into these episodes, the colder and more ruthless he's gonna become. But Ragatha's a whole different story, because we still don't really know who she actually is or what she's really after. At first glance, everything seems fine, but let's be real. We've got no idea what she was actually saying in those two scenes. Luckily, we don't have to wait much longer to find out the truth and dive into a whole new set of secrets. But have y'all ever wondered why Jax and Ragatha are sharing the spotlight in episodes 5 and 6 like it's a 50-50 deal? At first I thought it was kinda random, but the more I think about it, the more it feels like they're hiding something. This ain't like the whole Zubul and Kinger story. There's definitely something else going on here. But if you really pay attention and think back to episode 4, you'll notice something weird. The closer we get to the end, the more Jax and Ragatha start acting like each other. I mean, in episode 5, there might actually be some kind of mind swap going on between them. I know that kinda goes against what I said earlier, but this theory's been floating around for a while, and honestly, not talking about it would just be straight up criminal, especially since episode 4 low-key hinted at it, and Jax's whole storyline basically screamed it. So let's go all in and break down everything from episode 4 that might help us figure out what's really going down in episode 5. Right from Jax's very first scene, his usual confidence seemed shaken, and it became clear that something big was about to happen with him.
Let's get to work, guys!
Oh no! It looks like I've taken Ragatha and dropped her in the deep fryer.
Oh, no. We can't have anything like that going on around here.
What are you gonna do about it, though?
I'm calling upper management.
Hello?
Hey, Kane. We're having a bit of an issue with the employees, and I was wondering if you could maybe have a punishment waiting for them at the end of the day if they do a terrible job.
Wait, what?
Motivation! That's what my adventures have been missing!
Why would you do this?
It's called a manic episode, and you're getting 3 more seasons! Anyway, Jax, it's your job to set up the drink station, make new coffee and iced tea, and fill the ice cream machine, so get to it!
This is really weird.
Even though the start of the new adventure seemed pretty ordinary for Jax, what happened next completely shook him to the core. Just look at how utterly confused he is. He can't even find the words to respond. It feels like Jax's world literally fell apart in that moment. And when Gangle announced his list of tasks, it became crystal clear to everyone, including Jax himself, that this episode would showcase a sort of revenge, something Gangle practically admitted outright. This is further confirmed in the following scene.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Never say you hate the customer while the customer is still here. Oh, we wait until after hours for that?
Looking at Jax's unhappy, no, downright distressed expression in the moment he realized this was just the beginning of a nightmare bound to have irreversible consequences for his mental health. It's clear that this was a pivotal moment of reckoning. This was when Jax fully grasped the harsh reality and inevitability of the situation. It was the moment he realized that his true feelings would come to light, and he could no longer hide them behind the mask of the cool guy. But this was only the beginning, as the next scene proves.
So you're just, like, actually doing the job.
Yeah, I don't want Kane to punish me.
Kane's not gonna do anything malicious. It's not in his nature.
You really want to find out? The only thing holding Kane back is the fact that he likes us. I wouldn't push it.
That's rich coming from you.
Remember the old Jax, who never cared about anyone's approval or support? Now he's actually approaching Zubul, someone he doesn't even have the best relationship with, to try and convince her to ditch work too. This scene speaks volumes about how much Jax has changed. It's as if all his confidence has evaporated, leaving behind someone who might even be afraid of Gangle. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's the reality Jax is stuck in, a reality that's slowly driving him insane and pushing him further into a depressive state. The fact that time seems to drag on infinitely longer than Jax would like only makes things worse. Even though he's trying to maintain his trademark, unshakable demeanor, it's glaringly obvious that the spark we're used to seeing in him is fading, bit by bit.
The bathroom looks like a biohazard and needs a good scrubbing.
Well, I don't know. Shouldn't, like, a biohazard crew take care of that?
Oh, Jaxie boy, don't you want to be a model employee?
No, I don't care about any of this.
Well, that doesn't really sound like a can-do attitude to me.
It's not.
Bad.
I like you better when you're sad.
Well, maybe you just need some more training.
Then Gangle lays out the rules and makes a cryptic comment about unattainable dreams. But the real focus here is Jax's expression throughout this scene. For the first time, Jax genuinely looks scared, truly terrified by everything happening around him. He's confused by what's going on with him, and shaken by the thought of what Gangle might come up with now that she has more power than usual. He's frightened and undeniably upset about this whole adventure. And yet, it's not even over. By this point, Jax already realizes that things are only going to get worse, and unfortunately for him, he's completely right. All of this completely unravels Jax, and if we compare how he used to get angry versus how it manifests now, we can confidently add another piece of evidence to our growing case for Jax's broken mental state. He's no longer able to control his emotions, and it's heartbreaking to witness. The ultimate proof of his shattered psyche, and the looming possibility of a full-blown depression, is found in one of the final scenes featuring him.
Can you move?
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
You're drunk or something.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
How you doing?
Everything's been... I'm doing fine.
Wish I could say the same.
Jax, there's dishes back here. You got time to lean, you got time to clean.
God. I'm on it. Later, Pomni.
It's hard to believe that Jax is now talking to Pomni like this, especially given how he first met her. Even Pomni seems surprised by this sudden turn of events. Just look at how relieved Jax is to finally be done with that awful shift, but then something strange happens.
All right, I'm clocking out. This wasn't fun at all. See you all later.
You've really captured the essence of Jax's transformation in this episode. Seeing him as a lost and insecure character, grappling with the weight of his past actions and fearing retribution, definitely added a new layer to his persona. It's clear that while we didn't fully witness a depression in this episode, the foundation for it was laid. That moment with the car really drives home the idea that he's on the verge of a breakdown. It's heart-wrenching because Jax, who was once the most energetic and driven character in the digital circus, is now struggling to find his place. It seems inevitable that the consequences of his actions in this adventure will have a lasting impact on him. And, as you mentioned, Episode 5, focusing on Ragatha, might show the next step in Jax's emotional journey, potentially his depression. But I do agree with you that it won't last forever. Knowing Jax, he might turn into something darker if he doesn't find a way out. And I think it's safe to say his emotional arc is far from over. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out.